Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Every day, Monday through Friday on your radio. In Dallas, Texas. In Anna, Texas. In Burleson, Texas. Heck, we're even in the Woodlands. Greenville, South Carolina. You woke up this morning and you said, I don't know if I should continue to live in the shadow of the Wasatch Mountains. And I woke up today contemplating that. Whether or not that range is going to suit me, and if you should move away from Orem, Utah. But what's crazy is what you have in common with Daniel, and Daniel is from Lynchburg, Virginia, is that Lynchburg? Yeah, that's a place. Producer Addie Bates, you know stuff. Am I nailing it there?
There's a Lynchburg, Virginia.
Thank you. Liberty? Is that where Liberty is?
JMU.
JMU. All right. You both woke up at the same time, got up at the same time pretty early this morning, and you've converged on the Drake Toll Show. This is like when the moon is in the sky and you text your significant other a sweet nothing of, I go outside, look at the moon, and swoon over the way we're both looking at the same thing. Underneath the same thing, so far apart but so close. That's like a less romantic version of that, is this show. You're both listening to the same radio show, thousands of miles apart.
Brother, this guy stinks!
It makes you feel so connected. See, I wish, Curtis, that I got that reference to whatever you played. I don't know. I don't even know what that's from. You know what? Today, it was supposed to be so beautiful and start so peaceful. Ow. I am out of coffee mugs in my house. If you'd like to send me a coffee mug, surely I could put my address out over the air and nothing bad would happen. Speaking of, did we ever find Nancy Guthrie's mom?
Do you have a dishwasher?
Did we stop looking for Nancy Guthrie's mom?
Did we stop looking for a dishwasher?
I do have a dishwasher, yes. Why?
Oh, okay, so we're just out of coffee mugs just because we're out of coffee mugs.
I only had like 3, okay? Watch
Okay.
it. I do chores sometimes. I did the laundry yesterday.
Congratulations.
So I'm relegated to, and this is a sneaky sign of wealth, this soup cup.
Oh
That's
my God.
Just supposed to only ever contain soup. Now it contains my tea for the day.
Wait, did you put the same amount of, like, you have 1 tea bag, but you put more water? Or did you
No,
do
it's
2?
the same amount of water. It's about a
Oh,
coffee
okay.
cup amount of water.
Okay, so I don't even think that's that weird. That's a cute little soup cup.
But it's for your soup. A soup bar. And now we gather together here. And we got a lot. The NHL is back. That rocks. The NBA is a thing that exists. The Pistons beating the Thunder 124 to 116. I watched the duration of that game last night. That rocks. NCAA softball, NCAA baseball. A softball world where number 11 Georgia lost yesterday, 10-1 to Clemson. A baseball world where upsets have been abound across the sport in the top 10 because it's baseball, namely at the college level. In the NFL, we're searching for quarterbacks, wondering who will be the quarterback of your favorite franchise come next season. Did I mention college basketball? Because last night in college basketball, St. John's took its worst loss under Rick Pitino, 72-40, the final score at UConn. 40 points. That is how they say in our industry, bad. And I watched Darius Acuff Jr. once again be that guy. And an Arkansas team that scored 62 points in the second half alone in a 99-84 victory over Texas A&M. I watched all that. I heard midday about Brendan Sorsby being sued by his former school. We now have college football players being sued by universities. Do you know how hard it is, how unique it is in our world on this planet to be sued by a university, by college? We're doing that now. That's what we've walked into in the modern era of college athletics. But the top story today is an update on the U.S. women's hockey team. Because remember, I told you a couple days ago that them declining to go to the State of the Union was a nothing burger, something you shouldn't really care about, something you shouldn't follow, because, they said they had to go back to college, play in the PWHL, It didn't matter. There was nothing to this. There's no deep-seated, the USA hockey team, the women's hockey team hates America. They don't want to be involved in the red, white, and blue. Screw them. That's an easy conclusion to get to, and surely you'll see some AI slop on Facebook that says the ladies hate our country. Share this if you love our country. You hit share because you love our country. But now, Hillary Knight has responded. She joined SportsCenter, went on ESPN, and you'll remember how this all happened, how this went down. The events prior to the women's team saying, hey, by the way, we would be happy to, and we're grateful for the offer to go to the State of the Union, but we're unable given the current travel situation that we're in. And that was also in the wake of, a couple days before, the men's team winning gold, then having a conversation on the phone with the president of the United States, who made a joke about having to invite the women's team. A distasteful joke. I think everyone can agree. If you win a gold medal and the president makes light of that or makes a joke about it, it doesn't feel good. Hey, man, we just won the gold medal for our country. You get a little more respect around here. Here's what Hillary had to say about the joke that the president made to the U.S. men's team.
No, I just thought the joke was distasteful and unfortunate. And I think, just the way women are represented, it's a great teaching point to really shine light on how women should be championed for their amazing feats. And now I have to sort of and anybody has to sit in front of you and explain someone else's behavior. It's not my responsibility. But what is shifting the focus and shifting the narrative of this amazing accomplishment that we all did together. And granted, the men's and the women's team did it together, and that is super special. It's never been done in our program's history. It's something we're extremely proud about. But these women are amazing, and whatever is going on shouldn't never outshine or minimize their work and our success on the world stage. This was the best American women's hockey team, the best American team we've ever put together on a world stage when the lights have been the brightest ever. And so I think everybody felt that, going through the tournament. And I want to celebrate. I want people to be remembered for that. I want the legacy of this team to be remembered. And so that's what I'm trying to shift the narrative on and really focus on championing what we've done and what we've accomplished the last 2.5 weeks together.
Well, can't disagree with that. I mean, the idea in the past that maybe you hated Megan Rapinoe and when she was outspoken, maybe you hated these WNBA players that came to the forefront, Diana Taurasi, and were outspoken about the way that those leagues work. Maybe you Billie Jean King wasn't your style. You hated the way she spoke out. You thought they were all either political or misconstrued and silly and stupid. You didn't follow along. You were annoyed by it. All right. I don't think we can enter any conversation on this matter with a comparison of, I'm gonna tune this out. I don't like that. I don't like that. This is unpatriotic. Like, if you listen to what Hillary Knight just said, and if you're hanging on to the words, she's being very, for someone who could just say, hey, we won the gold, screw you, that was the worst. She said, hey, it's a learning moment. This is a teaching moment. She's saying that about the president, which is odd. This is a learning moment, a teaching moment, and an opportunity for us to operate as a unit, the women's team and the men's team. And a lot of people are making this a women's team versus men's team thing. This is what happens. You can't just win in sports. There has to be some sort of scandal. There has to be some sort of underlying story that propels you into the spotlight, a la the Seattle Seahawks having none of that, no tabloid. And when's the last time you heard anyone say anything about the Seattle Seahawks? They won the Super Bowl 2 weeks ago, and you would have no idea. No one seems to care. We will talk about it today on the Drake Toll Show and how odd it is that no one cares. But what I want to put forth with that is that this overshadowing two teams that actually really like each other, don't have beef, don't have a feud. The women's team not sitting there and just hating the men's team because they giggled at a joke the president made about the women's team. That has become the story instead of the actual gold medal part. And certainly there is the pushback. Well, you're the one making it a story. You're the one talking about it. Well, it's back. It's back on the major networks, and it's back because Hillary Knight spoke out. And when she did, she put this to rest. Namely, she put to rest the women's team having evil thoughts toward the men. No, instead, these two are pretty damn close, pretty damn tight-knit. Here's what Hillary Knight told ESPN about the USA men's hockey team.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a genuine level of support there and respect, and I think that's being overshadowed by sort of a quick lapse. And I think the guys were in a tough spot, so it's a shame that sort of this storyline and narrative is kind of blown up and overshadowing kind of that connection and genuine interest in one another and cheering one another on. We've had phenomenal relationships in the village and supporting one another on the world stage and also the professional stages. And I look forward to those friendships and, acquaintances sort of continuing in great fashion. And I think this is just a really good learning point to really focus on, how we talk about women, not only in sport, but in industry. Women aren't less than, and our achievements shouldn't be overshadowed by anything else other than how great they are.
So, this is the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. If I'm going to send a message to those who typically drown out the voice of female athletes, women in sports, like I don't know, sounds like they're complaining. If that's the side of the spectrum you're on, I gave you your fill of why this is as mature an answer as you can get. We could all get behind. I said it yesterday. I'll go back to it. Your sister, your aunt, your mom, imagine watching them in person win a gold medal. Softball, curling, skiing, doesn't matter. Watching them win a gold medal would be badass. And then the president makes a joke about it. That would suck. Hillary Knight is saying, hey, this is about as reasonable as you can get as a human being on the topic. Giving you the opportunity, the dissenter, the typical dissenter, to say, you know what, I agree with Hillary here. She's making some pretty good points. And then I want to flip it a little bit. To those of you who said, well, the men's hockey team, they're a bunch of tasteless, misogynistic pigs. For those that went nuts, saying, I can't believe this men's hockey team would laugh at the women, would disrespect that Jack Hughes would disrespect women like this. If that's something you've been up in arms about over the course of the last 5 days, if that's something that's eaten you alive and all you could think about, the captain of the women's team just said, don't anymore. We actually don't really care. Because as I mentioned 2 days ago, you're in a room with the FBI director who's also in that room. And the further away we get from that, there's you turn on the networks like, oh, he's using taxpayer funded. Dog, I gave up on making any sense of taxpayer dollars a while ago. I'm never going to get it. Maybe a little bit, maybe different from that. I look at the situation, the FBI director being in the locker room and thinking, I would think as a player, like, all right, it's kind of our moment to celebrate. We are the ones that won the gold medal. But then he makes a phone call. Awkward situation. 25 guys in the room that are like, you in this situation probably aren't even listening to the phone call. You're just kind of giggling and looking around because you just won the gold medal. The adrenaline, the 6 beers in 10 minutes, you're in an ethereal space. And that's what Hillary Knight said. What an awkward spot. What a weird spot. We don't hate the men. Obviously, we want to promote women's sports, but don't go nuts on this. Don't feel like you have to berate the U.S. men's hockey team because we, the women, who they giggled at a joke about, we aren't going to berate them. We love them. We're friends with them. We have relationships with them. We know who they are. And this entire tabloid being blown out of proportion about all this is nothing but a tabloid. That's where we start today. I felt compelled in my loins to wax poetic a bit about a situation that you've heard about all week long where, Jeremy Swayman has spoken up about this, said the men should have reacted differently. But for those that are freaking out and making the AI posts and going to Facebook and becoming a warrior over this, we're good. We're good. Put it to rest. Don't have to. Hillary Knight on ESPN said the joke was distasteful, but a learning moment. Not something the team is going to take and harbor. And the men's team, they did not all become evil people in the eyes of the women's hockey team. And Hillary Knight can only affirm that those two squads are incredibly tight, will continue to be close. That's it. Anything else? We good here? We wrapped it up. We're good. Everybody's good. All right. Just making sure. In college football, we're not good. Oh no. In college football, we're really not good. A university is suing a player because he entered the transfer portal and left. That university said, we want our NIL money back. We want a buyout. Will they get it? Our biggest losers. NBA MVP conversation. Idiot of the day. All of it. Packed show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. When we come back, college football is officially broken. This is the Drake Toll Show.
How long will the Steelers wait for a decision from Aaron Rodgers?
She hit me like that. Saw that thing so beautiful. That she just hit my heart. Oh, that full force and she got me like that. I be like, baby, why you so fine? Got to make you mine. So hard to find. Baby, like, oh, how'd you do the thing? The way that you do it, and she ain't even show nothing. She be walking around so confident, so heaven sent. I think she was meant to knock some daylight. Like, girl, you so fine. Oh, oh. one strutting in the hills or her slides. Either way, eyes on her every single day, week, year. Everyone wondering how she does it with no fear. All that confidence, was it heaven sent? Does it come within? Does it come run out? I don't know. She'll just have them running out and in. Man, they want to sin, talking deadly sin with Mrs. Lady. I don't understand why she hit them like. Girl, you knock 'em dead. How you doing? Things you doing? Baby, you knock 'em dead. I'm already said.
Touch yourself. It's the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. You feel alive? If you don't, probably dead. Bangarang. Just read a headline. Blew my mind. Country Central says, multiple artists. Help me with this, Addie, producer Addie Bates, Washington, D.C. You know things about things.
Sometimes.
That's what the producer's supposed to do. They're supposed to be the one who knows the stuff. Correct?
Yes, like a calendar.
And then there's Curtis. He's
knows
just kind of
bonks.
here. Yeah, he's just kind of the guy.
I just know ball, you know?
He's the punch the monkey. He's just carrying his little orangutan around. Just all sad over there.
Said monkey, and Addie got excited, by the way.
Okay. Headline says, multiple artists hint at being featured on Gavin Adcock's upcoming project. Here are the names of the people. I'm convinced none of these actually exist. We have Hudson Westbrook, Vincent Mason, Braxton Keith, Jake Worthington, Lainey Gardner, Ashley Cook, Austin Snell, and Shelby Stone.
Told me those are frat members at like Ole Miss, and I would have believed you. That sounds like a Phi-Psi.
I want to punt all of them.
I know Braxton Keith.
Braxton Miller?
Miller or Keith?
Braxton Miller's as far as I go on Braxton's. It's kind of where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Like there's no way Braxton Keith, Hudson Westbrook, and Gavin Adcock are getting together for an album. So if you're excited about that, I have questions. I'd like to know a lot of things. Addie, is that we should go back to your I enjoyed your game, hockey players or country music stars?
It's a fun game. It's a fun game. We just be naming people anything.
Braxton Keith. What's worse than the slew of odd country singer names now and how we all have to have one? George Jones, that's irreplaceable. Conway Twitty, yeah, ball knowers. We've ruined that. We've also ruined college football. There is a legal battle between the University of Cincinnati and their former quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, who played quarterback for them last year. Do you remember the Boston Massacre? It wasn't much in terms of massacres. It wasn't much of a massacre. But it was there. It definitely happened. British soldiers that were occupying Boston shot and killed some Americans, and it helped, some colonists, and it helped spur on the Revolutionary War. There was this shot heard around the world, like, hey, we've dumped tea in the harbor, now there's been a massacre, can we please just attack and let's have a war and fight for independence? The shot heard around the world. What you need to know about this, you're working out right now, you're driving back from your workout, you're getting off of your night shift at the factory as a security guard. What you need to know when you get back to work, when you go to work today, when you're in a crowd of people and they ask you, hey, did you see this kid's being sued by a university? What you need to know, kind of that first big take, the first thing I want you to tell them is this is the shot heard round the world. This is the moment we're going to point back to and remember and say, oh, yeah, that Brendan Sorsby thing, that was the catalyst. That was what taught us how to feel about the NIL and transfer portal era of college football. February 25th, just yesterday, Cincinnati filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Ohio. Here's what you need to know. Here are the details you need to know. July 2025, Sorsby, this is crazy, signed a multi-year NIL and revenue sharing agreement. That agreement was worth $1.5 million for 2025. But remember, multi-year. The deal had a $1 million buyout. If you want to enter the transfer portal and go somewhere else, you are going to have to pay us $1 million, liquidated damages. Or, you know what, the school you're going to surely could pay us $1 million. Someone has to pay us $1 million if Brendan Sorsby transfers before the end of 2026 somewhere else. And he did. Sorsby, in January, transferred to Texas Tech for a $5 million deal. Now, I've told you this, and I'm going to stand by it, go back to it. If you are working at Home Depot as a cashier and you're making $50,000 a year, and Lowe's calls and says, hey, come be our cashier, we'll pay you $100,000 a year. You're going to take the job that is comparable. Yeah, it's at a competitor, but it's comparable. And I'm going to make double the money. In this situation, if you're working at Lowe's making $1.5 million a year and the Home Depot calls offering you $5 million a year, you pick up the phone and you go. So don't be mad at the kid. Oh, lack of loyalty. He should have stayed at Cincinnati. No, you aren't loyal to Home Depot enough that you would turn down $4 extra million. If you're at a point in your life where you can turn down $4 million a year, good for you. I'll have what you're having. Sorsby did the right thing for Sorsby, transferring to Texas Tech and taking the bag. But now Cincinnati said, we want our money. Pay up. Sorsby's agent, Ron Slavin, argues the $1 million fee is an unlawful penalty, though, under the Ohio law, claiming Sorsby generated millions in value for Cincinnati during his 7-5 campaign. 7 wins, 5 losses last year. And the school is trying to recoup the money it already earned through his performance. Slavin, I don't do the law. I can't say I've ever been a lawyer. Thought about it. Thought it would have been fun for me. But Slavin's saying that he shouldn't have to pay a buyout at all, actually. That buyout is unlawful in Ohio. This is like the reserve clause battles in the MLB. 1975, MLB reserve clause. 70s, Curt Flood. Dude was fighting the reserve clause. Wanted to establish free agency. Sorsby, he's fighting this lock-in. Fighting this NIL commitment that has to keep you where you are. He says, hey, can we just call this free agency? In the 70s, owners would have told you in the MLB that the reserve clause, without it, small market teams were going to collapse. The game would be ruined. Today, Cincinnati, without an enforceable buyout, namely if the state of Utah or state of Ohio says, yes, Cincinnati, you already got your $1 million, and Brendan Sorsby should not have to pay you. If that is the case, schools like Cincinnati are going to argue, similar to the smaller market teams in the 70s in Major League Baseball, that without these buyouts, without something to protect us, this is just free agency Wild West, and we're going to lose. Cincinnati will not be able to compete with the Texas Techs of the world, the Ohio States of the world, the LSUs of the world in the NIL game. They are venturing capital into players to leave, to give them money and then know they can leave at any moment. And there's nothing they can do to keep them. And the stakes of this matter greatly. If Cincinnati wins the case in Ohio against Brendan Sorsby and he has to pay his former school $1 million, that sets precedent. And if they don't, if Sorsby wins, the transfer portal is a free market. I don't think it would be advantageous, and I don't think it has been, for those who've tried it, to have a free market for pro athletes. And college football players are now pro athletes. Man, I hate that. I just want to go back to the old days. I just want to go back. Oh, Texas USC, man, it's so good. Yeah, I think we've all accepted that the glory days of college football are behind us. The competition's still great. I still enjoyed the hell out of watching Indiana this year. That was as fun as it gets. And new teams are popping up on the map as competitors, like Indiana or Texas Tech on the national scene. But that's where we are. We are in the NFL of college football. We are in the pro level of college football, where now there's a free market, free agency, and multi-year NIL contracts are unenforceable. Players can do whatever they want. They can build whatever they want. They're going to continue to build these mega rosters. In college football, before too long, you're going to have the Mets and the Dodgers. Now, you could argue last year, LSU was a great example of the Mets. Spent a ton of money. Hey, we got to be good, given all the money we spent. Right, guys? Come on. And they didn't live up to it. Whereas a Texas Tech or an Indiana, who went to the college football playoff last year, ranked in the top 4 for most of the season, those schools parallel themselves to the Dodgers, who spent a lot of money into works. And what you're going to see in college football now is you're going to have teams that are building Dodgers-like rosters, spending $50+ million through NIL on their players. And that means that when you are, as a fan of NC State or a fan of Boise State or a fan of Utah, a fan of Oregon State, when you are rooting for your favorite player and they're a sophomore, you can say goodbye. Because they're working cashier at Home Depot for you right now, and you're a big Home Depot fan. But who's going to stop Lowe's from quadrupling their salary? Who's going to stop Lowe's from giving them a far better offer? You already told me you'd leave Home Depot for $5 million. That's what Darian Mensah did. Duke sued Darian Mensah, who left the university to go to Miami. Duke did everything in their power, said, hey, you signed a contract, did everything in their power to stop it. There was no stopping it. Mensah left. Washington threatened to sue DeMond Williams for $4 million. Remember the guy who announced in the middle of a athlete's funeral that he wanted to go to the transfer portal and leave, maybe to go to LSU? Really embarrassing moment, black spot on his career at Washington and on the university. That guy had a tail between his legs, say, oh, sorry, Washington, I guess I'll just stay here instead of being sued for $4 million. That's really the only example of a university winning, and they didn't have to go to court. This one does. Cincinnati, the University of Cincinnati versus Brendan Sorsby. Off the field, in the courtroom. They want their money. And if they don't get it, it just proves again that college football players can go wherever they want, can do whatever they want. in this era of the sport. This is the test case. Mensa was leading up to it. DeMond Williams almost got there. But this is the test case that will determine if student athletes are now contractual employees, which I think I know how that's going to turn out. They seem like contractual employees to me. When we return, biggest losers of the day. Do we have to do it again? Do we have to talk Fanatics? Probably. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910 is the phone line, sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. Biggest losers up next. This is the Drake Toll Show.
There's some big names.
Touch yourself. It's the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Curtis Poindexter runs the board in Culver City, California. Addie Bates produces in Washington, D.C. The prestige of Westwood One Sports carries on today. Sadly, I was put on this earth to do two things. One, host a damn good radio show. Two, cook pancakes on that radio show. And I'm all out of pancake mix. Our pancake mix budget as a company is run dry. Our second shipment's on the way. Did you see that? Linnell Willingham made pancakes live on the show.
Yeah, he was learning how to make pancakes from
Pretty
a
awesome.
box. But it was
Pretty awesome.
not homemade, just from a box.
Yeah, what do you mean from a box?
Like the pancake mix.
Yeah, most people do that. You take the powder, you add water to it, and
Yeah, I didn't know you had to learn how to make that, though.
Yeah, I don't know. It was both educational and entertaining.
So
If
why
Linnell
aren't you
Willingham-
making pancakes?
My Blackstone is way too big to fit in the... surely we could get creative with that one day. Surely we could get creative with that. That's a great idea, actually. I'll do an outdoor show. Fine, I'll do an outdoor show during the summer, and I'll cook for everybody. On July 17th, where there's just nothing happening.
That's, yeah, All-Star, FIFA.
Speaking of, happy opening day. It's the opening day of Banana Ball. The Loco Beach Coconuts and the Firefighters meet at Florida State, leading up to the Bananas and Texas Tailgaters playing at Florida State's football stadium on Saturday. Cool? Yeah. Sold out football stadium. Banana Ball. By the end of this year, you will love it.
No doubt.
Yep, that's me speaking directly to you. I
No doubt.
promise. Just trust me. Jackie Bradley Jr. plays the league.
Okay.
Don't okay me. Two-time World Series champion, Jackie Bradley Jr. Now what, huh? How many World Series do you have?
I was at the game when the Astros won.
Okay.
I was part of that team. I feel like my energy is the reason why they won that World Series.
And by energy, do you mean small mechanical device that helped you tell the players what pitches were coming?
In 2022? No. Come on. Know your years. Come on now.
They were still doing it. It was still going on. I have it on high authority.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Drake Toll.
Biggest losers of the day. Here we go. Thank you, Curtis. Biggest losers of the day. First one. The Bulls. But not the Chicago Bulls. No, the Animal Bulls. Because Johnny Knoxville, notably of Jackass, which they're doing another one of those movies, he can no longer interact with bulls because he's been messed up so many times by the large creatures. They have hit him with their horns and thrown him around the yard.
One time. You know, shot from the front, the back, whatever it is.
Correct. One time, notably, he was doing the things with the bulls and got a concussion, broke a bunch of ribs, was in the hospital for a while. Johnny Knoxville was in bad shape. But our biggest losers today are the Bulls, because you know what? Because they were so mean to Johnny Knoxville, now he can no longer play with them. Yesterday, this interview was released by Rolling Stone where Knoxville discussed his thoughts on the animals.
I don't want to get emotional. I can't. God damn, I hate when this happens.
No, this is good. I was going to ask when the last time you cried was, but now.
Oh, no,
I
it's
don't have
all the
to.
time these days.
Yeah. Same.
I can't mess around with bulls anymore.
and that makes you emotional.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Because you want to do it again, or because it makes you think about what happened before?
No, I just want to play with them.
So what?
And I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
Trying not to indulge in those thoughts.
Touch yourself. What a weird. If you substitute bulls for drugs in there, Like, hey, don't want to get emotional. I've been addicted for a long time.
It's Steve-O.
Steve-O's the goat.
the crazy one. But no, it's the Bulls. Johnny Knoxville just misses them. And they, therefore, the animals, are the biggest losers of the day today. Because Johnny Knoxville can no longer hang out with them on account of them being mean to him. This one's for Addie Bates. Notably not a biggest loser today. She is a winner. Padres pitcher Matt Waldron out indefinitely after infection in his rear end. Addie, hopefully he can leave it all behind.
Oh.
It's a guy who's been a real pain in the ass for his team.
Oh.
Can't wait till he puts this behind him.
They need me to take, a shot from the front and the back, whatever it is.
And he is dealing with a bacterial infection in the anal area, which some commenters on this post, by the way, say can be serious. Stop joking about it. Out indefinitely means there's no clear time for return while he's receiving treatment and recovering. Now the world knows that his butt has an infection.
This is what
What
Drake
does
was
this-
dealing with in segment 1 of the show yesterday. So he
Possibly.
knows a thing or two. Because he's seen a thing or two.
Let's just say too soon.
They could have just put lower body injury. Nope. He has an injury to the butt. You know how
Hate to
they...
see it.
That's what they write down when they bench Kawhi, too.
How analysts will get on to a national show and say, yeah, he's out with an ankle. He's out with a wrist. They never say broken or hurt, torn. They just say he's out with a toe. Out with an elbow. Waldron is out with a butt and cannot go today.
How does the
Indefinitely.
infection... How does it get that bad?
I don't know. I can understand how if your butt was infected, you probably wouldn't go to the doctor for a while out of the nerve. You wouldn't go to the team trainer who's like a buddy of yours and a friend and say, hey, there's something wrong with my butt.
Should we reach out to Padres PR, see if we can get Matthew on the show?
Let's get him on the show, please. Let's get him on the show. What does this do to the organization, Addie? Is this going to have an extreme? Is the butt going to have an extreme detriment to the Padres?
Well, we're hoping that it can get better by the end of spring training. Obviously, you don't want this to leak into the year in many different ways, the regular season.
If we keeping a buck right now, we ass.
So, R.I.P. Padres for the time being. Really big hit. Not really. Not that big of a hit. But it's kind of funny.
No Matt Waldron for a little bit. Biggest losers today. They did it again, man.
Here we go again.
Front Office Sports tweets a screenshot from the Fanatics website that says, an authentic Nike Aaron Judge Team USA World Baseball Classic jersey. So, you bought these before in your life. Just a jersey. Authentic is hey, maybe it's a little bit more money because it's going to be stitched. It's going to feel real. It's going to be nice jersey. Front Office Sports tweets a screenshot of a Fanatics checkout page. $419.99 for an Aaron Judge USA Baseball Nike 2026 World Baseball Classic home authentic jersey. White jersey, USA across the front, Judge 99 in the back. $420 nice dollars. What's worse, if you buy today, it ships in April. The World Baseball Classic ends in March. Addie, I don't know how we got here, but namely in baseball, the uniform thing is still a pretty serious issue.
This is the problem. Now, if Fanatics is going to sponsor the show, then this is not a problem at all. Keep doing what you're doing. But since they aren't yet, it's just one of those things where it's insane to me. The quality of those jerseys has gone down. Prices have gone up. It's an entire monopoly over the system of like all the jerseys. And it's honestly so sad. It's so sad. Have you felt one of the newer jerseys? Like, it's like paper.
I would not want to play in it personally.
What happened? What happened to the game I loved?
I was never afforded the opportunity to play in it, but I guess that was for the better after all. I should have understood the bigger picture. Biggest winner of the day. This goes back to the first segment, the opening segment of the Drake Toll Show, if you were listening. Jeremy Swayman spoke out on the reaction the U.S. men's team gave to the post-game call with President Trump. Swayman said, "We should have reacted differently. We're so excited for the women's team and have so much respect for the women's team." Addie, did Swayman right all wrongs with this admittance of guilt?
I think that there's something to be said when you recognize that A, you've done something wrong, and B, like, you go out there and say, hey, yeah, we messed up. It's not like he just totally was sweeping it under the rug, and I feel like that's the big part of that. It's just, hey, yeah, we should have reacted differently. We should have. And we, like, saying kind of like regret that. Like, kudos to him for that because, yeah, it was a bad reaction, and I feel like that actually does help a lot, knowing that he recognizes that, because I feel like some of the other players are just like, yeah, I don't know, like, it was just a moment, 6 beers deep, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, hard to make I don't want to make the beers an excuse. The beers aren't an excuse. You're frazzled more so. I think the adrenaline of the moment and no one wanting to, in a group of 50 people, say, hey, FBI director, give me your phone, I'm hanging up on the president. They didn't want to make that moment about themselves, I think, and that is me giving them a bit of excuse, but Swayman's apologizing here. They didn't want to make the moment about themselves by taking the phone over and doing the right thing, okay? But other people in that room were making the moment about themselves that probably didn't need to be in the room. Again, adrenaline of the moment. If I'm a player, maybe I don't care. I think if I was in that locker room, I would want it to be my boys, my coaches, not politicians or elected officials or appointed officials or actors or movies. I don't want Matthew McConaughey, sorry, Addie, in that locker room after I win the gold medal because he didn't do anything for us to win this gold medal. I did. There's a lot of factors that go into what happened, and Jeremy Swayman said, hey, hand up. We're sorry. We should have reacted differently. We're excited for the women's team. Let's put it all behind us. Up ahead, obituaries. Who's dead today? Oh, a lot of people. Addie Bates produces the Drake Toll Show in Washington, D.C., notably alive. Curtis Poindexter runs the board in Culver City, California. When we return, obituaries and the quickie. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
I got glue on my string. That's the way that the world goes round.
I know a guy that's got a lot to lose. He's a pretty nice fella, kinda confused, got muscles in his head, ain't never been used, thinks he owns half of this town. Starts drinking heavy, gets a big red nose, beats his old lady with a rubber hose, then he takes her out to dinner, buys her new clothes. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. You up one day, the next you're down. It's a half an inch wider and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. I was sitting in the bathtub, counting my toes when the radiator broke. Water all froze, I got stuck in the ice without my clothes, naked as the eyes of a clown. I was crying ice cubes, hoping I'd croak when the sun come through the window. The ice all broke, I stood up and laughed, thought it was a joke. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. One day, the next you're down. It's a half an inch wider and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the
at Ole Miss. I don't think, number one, Chris Beard will recover from this. Number two, that he really wants to recover from this. Beard was the hero at University of Arkansas Little Rock. 2015, 2016, he was the guy that beat Purdue in March Madness. Crazy. Matt Painter losing with one of those teams of a bunch of 7-footers. Elam Monchlowski. That's a Purdue basketball player. Throw a dart at the board. Just start getting Eastern European.
Tingus Pingus?
Tingus Pingus, Purdue. Yes. From Latvia. That's what Chris Beard went up against and won in March Madness with Little Rock. Goes to Texas Tech, leaves Texas Tech for Texas. And then after Texas, went to Ole Miss. Why did he leave Texas? Well, therein lies the issue. News would break December of 2022 that Beard was arrested on a third-degree felony charge of assault against a family member for strangulation. His fiancée, Randy, said he choked her, bit her. She had bruises all over her leg. She was thrown around. Chris Beard was going nuts. She had bite marks and cuts. And the University of Texas said, we're going to fire Chris Beard. To which Ole Miss said, wait a second. You're saying we can hire him? And since that hire, Beard went 20-12 in year number one, 7-11 in SEC play. Not great. Missed the tournament. Year two, Sweet 16 last season. And then the wheels fell off this year. 2 of his 3 years have been underwhelming. Missed the NCAA tournament 2 of those 3 years. Will miss the NIT and everything this year at Ole Miss. Probably just wants a restart. Maybe at Kansas State, somewhere like that. I just don't think it's going to be Ole Miss next season. Chris Beard, out. Also dead today, Logic. Not the rapper. Though I could not name one single thing that Logic rapper has done.
Flexecution, 1-800.
I don't want to be a... I just want to today. I don't know if I could say that whole phrase, even though it's not a...
Under Pressure, best album he has.
You don't know Logic?
None of this is English to me. Is
this
what woke? Is this what woke is?
Yeah, he was like dubbed as the next like Lee Greenwood. So
Nicknamed him Young Sinatra too, actually.
I've been saying it's Logic. It is. Logic is dead today. Not the rapper, but us just having intelligence as a society. ESPN bracketologist Joe Lunardi released his bracketology yesterday. That's what they pay him for. And he says, in March Madness, with a bye in the tournament, the Auburn Tigers, SEC propaganda. Auburn is 15-13 this season. They have lost 6 of their last 7 games and lost to 2 sub-500 teams in the past week. But Joe Lunardi has them in the tournament. Blatant propaganda. That is from College Basketball Kings, who pointed this out. Yet the Big 12, having a very strong season at the top of the conference, their teams that sit at 19-12 are off the bubble and not even in, according to Joe Lunardi. That's weird to me. That's weird. Also dead today, the ability for human beings to form their own thoughts. From Next to TV, the Pope urged priests to please not write sermons using ChatGPT. That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. During a meeting with clergy of the Diocese of Rome, Pope Leo XIV warned about the temptation to entrust homilies to artificial intelligence. According to him, if one does not train one's own mind, it will atrophy. AI will never be able to preach the faith, he stressed. The pontiff added that Christianity is not about the formal recitation of prayers, but about a living relationship with God. Do you think God hears the sermon if you chat GPT it?
Do you think God listens to the Drake Toll Show?
I do. I think he is tuned in as we speak. This show is one kind of open, long prayer to the ether. And I'm hopeful that he is proud of what he hears. I'm hopeful that he likes the good takes. I'm hopeful when he goes to the water cooler, he's like, yo, that Brendan Sorsby take was kind of fire. Like, I agree. That was good. It is 2031. Addie Bates sends me this from Smokey McPot on Twitter.
Heck yeah.
Our final obituary. I'm not even sure what the obituary is for this one. You didn't label it. You just sent me the tweet.
I just wanted you to read it out loud.
It says, a Savannah Bananas game is being played on a stadium built at Augusta National. It's 2031. Alternate Fanatics uniforms are produced. Wrong. We're Evo Shield. Along with special Air Jordan golf shoes, shorts, and limited edition hats with the word bananas upside down. That's the funniest part. The bananas upside down hat would go extremely hard. Smokey McPot continues. Seventh inning stretch entertainment with musical guest Benson Boone, featuring crowd work by Matt Rife, played by me, Drake Toll. In the booth, we have Burt Kreischer and Jason Kelsey. Presenting partners ChatGPT and Kalshi. Wrong. We don't do partners like that.
Yet.
Kalshi or ChatGPT.
Yet. It's 2031, Drake Toll.
And Jason Kelsey would not be in the booth. I'm in the booth with the Savannah Bananas. Opening weekend of Banana Ball this weekend.
And y'all are
excited about that.
Dancing to Moonbeam Ice Cream.
I don't know what that means either. You guys pretend that I know things that are like popular culture like that. If it's not good, if it's devoid of emotion, if it doesn't have, a reason for me to be entertained by it because it's quality, I'm not listening. And maybe I'm being mean to Logic by saying that, but I'm not a Logic guy. I'm not a Benson Boone guy. I don't know what any of this means.
I don't know
I'm better off for
anybody's
it.
a Benson Boone guy.
Is Benson Boone even a Benson Boone guy? That's the real question. I ran into him one time. Story for another time. Those are our obituaries. That's who's dead today. Time for the quickie. Top 5 headlines and all of sports. I have a minute to respond to each of them. Addie Bates will read them.
UConn rolls by 32 in Pitino's biggest loss at St. John's.
Rick Pitino, man, stand-up guy. Good dude. He's a sturdy fella. It's like he's got 4 legs. He's kind of like a table, He's built. He's well built. It's kind of like he's like a table, just sturdy. Can hold you up if you need it. Every good table has a tablecloth. There's a lesson to be learned there. For more, Google Rick Pitino tablecloth.
All right, here's your second headline, John.
They got stomped. It was bad. Yeah, I don't think they'll be a competitor.
Okay.
Do you not know the Rick Pitino tablecloth story? Is this news to you?
Yeah,
we'll get there one day. When you're old enough.
Jonte Porter, banned from NBA, signs with USBL's Superhawks.
Yes. I did the minute on this today. The repercussion of this, we find out like middle of March. Yes. We find out like middle of March if he's going to prison forever, right?
Yes, but he's going to be playing March 6th.
Yeah, I think he finds out March 8th. I'm pretty sure the date's March 8th where he finds out he's going to go to prison for a long time.
I mean, why not?
Help me on this one.
Full send it before you got to go to prison. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Dude just wants to get his hoops on. There are plenty of men's leagues that keep you under wraps. You can just slip into a men's league, play basketball on Tuesdays, probably win the championship, get a ring at the Don Owens Rec Center, or put yourself in the headlines again. Congrats, Jonte Porter. Enjoy it.
Repercussions. Okay.
What? What's wrong with repercussions?
I don't know. I say repercussions.
Great.
Yeah, it's like tomato. Max Scherzer agrees to return to Blue Jays for his 19th season.
Oh, do you mean World Series champion with the Texas Rangers, Max Scherzer? I watched him pitch multiple games that postseason in person, and he was terrible in all of them, by the way. Sometimes you can just be old. 19 years in Major League Baseball. Sometimes you can just be old and say, hey, it's okay. I don't have to do this anymore. That being said, the Blue Jays are going to be very good this year and contend for a World Series yet again. So, fun roster to be a part of, and surely Max Scherzer wants to help them compete. Will he be an X factor on the field? Will he be a factor on the field? I don't think so.
Did you see him last year with the Blue Jays?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, like he wasn't bad.
At
He's
baseball.
better with the Blue Jays than he was with
Yeah,
the
he was
Rangers.
bad at Texas. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Better with the Blue Jays. I just don't think. Fine. If you think he's going to be an X factor, that's fine. I don't.
I
don't
didn't say
think
that.
Max Scherzer's. Yeah, I don't think Max Scherzer's going to be a factor this year. I don't. I don't think that's a bad take. I don't think he's going to be a factor this year.
I think he's going to be good to have as like your number 4 starter, kind of get you deep into innings, save your bullpen a little bit. Like I don't think he's going to be atrocious.
Sure.
So,
Postseason wise, he won't be a factor. But yeah, if you want a guy down the rotation who's there and has an arm, Max Scherzer has an arm.
I think the biggest baseball news of the day was that Minute Maid Park, now Daikin Park, is getting a Whataburger instead of Shake Shack. Isn't that exciting? That's a big day for Addie Bates.
Daikin Park, Houston, Whataburger. Okay. My first time. Is this one of the headlines today?
No, but it can't be.
Okay. My first time in what is now Daikin Park was 2024. Bananas versus Party Animals. Sold out, by the way. No big deal. I'm standing in the press box, and I'm approached by Rachel Caton, who is with their PR team. She says, "Hey, Drake, would you like to meet Bobby Dynamite and ride the train?" So I, Drake Toll, signed a waiver, met Bobby Dynamite, and rode the train at Minute Maid in Houston.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh, it's one of the coolest moments of my life. That's such a weird thing to say, but it made me think of playing MLB 2K12, and I always wanted to play in that venue no matter what, just to watch the train, the Twain. And I got to ride the Twain with Bobby Dynamite, who's a legend. He's missed 2 games. He's missed 0 games since 2004, and they sucked for a long time.
Yes, I know that. All right, here's your
Robert Dynamite, for those that know him well.
Suns majority owner eyes $1 million prize for dunk and 3-point contest winners.
Is that enough incentive? You know?
I'll take it.
I, too, would take it, but I think we're, again, going to have a bunch of G League guys who need the $1 million that go try hard on this. And the real stars of the NBA are like, oh, yeah, I'll give that $1 million to the G League guy. He probably deserves it. Yeah, whatever. That's a minute.
Okay, here's your final headline. CC Sabathia to be 24th Yankee with retired number.
Why doesn't he just go pitch with Max Scherzer?
Hall of Famer CC Sabathia?
For the Blue Jays, yeah, 51-year-old CC Sabathia.
Like Justin Verlander.
Others have played late into their lives. Why doesn't he go do that?
We'll have him join the show and break that down.
I'm a big CC Sabathia fan. Again, 2K12. Playing in Minute Maid with CC Sabathia, watching the Twain. 24 players with their numbers retired. We're running out of numbers. At some point, they're going to have to dig up one of those players and find a really random scandal and be like, oh, no, we didn't know about this. You may now wear number 12. They're running out of numbers. They're going to have to do something.
Mickey Mantle, that's on you. You're next. You're next. You're going to be the first one dug up.
They're going to call the family members like a great niece. Like, yeah, she gave us permission. She said she doesn't want his number retired anymore. He would want this. That's going to be a great day. That's the Quickie. Top 5 headlines on all of sports and the Whataburger thing. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. When we return, let's go around the NFL. Rumors. Isaiah Likely. Likely not in Baltimore anymore. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The NFL Combine is underway.
in, breathe out. Allow the miracle of existence to overtake you. Allow it to enter your psyche for the moment. In understanding the gift of sentience, realize you're real. Touch yourself. Touch yourself as proof of your existence. And gather, O ye of logic and taste, to the Westwood One Sports app for the Drake Toll Show. Addy Bates produces, Curtis Poindexter runs the board. It's the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. It's like it's like when I'll never forget the first time I was watching a Major League Baseball game and the broadcast stops. This was probably opening day 2021. That's not the first time I ever watched a Major League Baseball game, by the way. I should be clear. It was probably opening day 2021 when they first did when I remember tangibly seeing the Zen thing. And it was, you could very obviously tell it's just because they couldn't sell ads for opening day on Bally or whatever I was watching it on. And so you just got to the last commercial and it was, enjoy this Zen break. Will you play the music again? Play that bet again? And it would just say, enjoy the Zen break. And you would hear dirt shuffling and then pouring on the field, or the spray paint on the field, just this in the background. And I remember vividly, there were probably 13 of us watching the Rangers on opening day playing the Angels. And just the middle of our conversation, everyone just stops and glares at the TV. We've never seen anything like this. We don't know what a Zen break is. It's like and now it's just so popular. YouTube, skip an ad, Zen break. Major League Baseball, ESPN, Zen break. Why? All right. Addie, are you passionate about the Zen break?
They still do that on MLB, like the app, MLB TV or whatever. And some of them are okay. Some of them are fine. Other ones annoy me. Some of them are not Zen.
ZYN.
We have a PSA for during our sports stuff, and it's Kevin Love guiding you through 60 seconds of breathing exercises.
Is that real?
Yes. I got to find it.
That's awesome. What was do you have access to play whatever we played going into break right there? That like weird whistle noise thing that happened?
Oh, no, I'd have to find the exact one to do that.
Is that what it was? Yeah, we have the set hut one. They get better and better every week. We're getting innovative. Quickly, before we get into the biggest storylines going into free agency in the NFL, the term Rick Pitino tablecloth, for those that did not have time to Google this, Google me, or to do so because they're driving. The term Rick Pitino tablecloth refers to a 2009 scandal involving former Louisville basketball coach Rick Pitino, who admitted to having a brief sexual encounter, didn't last very long, in a brief sexual encounter with Karen Cipher on the table at an Italian restaurant, Porcini, in Louisville in 2003. He said it was very brief in the restaurant after it closed. 2009, it became public after he was extorted for money. Cipher was found guilty of extortion in 2010. Pitino apologized, expressed humiliation, and now if you Google Pitino tablecloth, that's what comes up, of the Italian restaurant. John Calipari has hinted at it before. Pretty funny. 310-840-4910. This is the Drake Toll Show. I am Drake Toll from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12, and the Drake Toll Show. Around the NFL, Isaiah Likely reveals several teams very high on contract to grab him in NFL free agency. Reportedly be plenty of competition for the tight end this offseason as he hits free agency. And Jordan Schultz reported on Wednesday several teams said they're very high on the playmaker. Potential number one tight end after he never played more than 60% of the snaps of a single season in his time on the Ravens. I remember that first game of the year a couple of years ago when Likely was just a baller, a total beast. And you're like, okay, this guy's here. Like he's sprung onto the scene in the National Football League, and I think he's going to be very good. That faded out fairly fast. And injuries are part of the reason it faded out. Another part of the reason it faded out is Mark Andrews is good. I think we all expected Mark Andrews a couple of years ago to be old and done and fade away. But he kind of just hasn't. He's got that Hunter Henry to him where you think, oh, shoot. Yeah, Mark Andrews is still around. And it is still working out. And now he's Isaiah Likely, because of Mark Andrews, because of injuries, will likely be looking for a new home. But there will be plenty of bidders to woo him. 2026 free agency is going to be one that you buckle up for. We're going to open it up on March 11th. And when we open it up, I've got 3 or 4 storylines here that I'm tracking closely. When we open it up, it will be one of the craziest in recent memory. This upcoming 6 to 12 months of sports are incredible. From the World Baseball Classic to the World Cup this summer to the NFL's free agency. Prepare yourself. The spend off is on its way. Cap explosion. That's what you need to know. If you want the insider, I walk into my office. I'm the smartest guy in the office today. I know about NFL free agency. I want to know this thing to impress my coworkers. The cap explosion is the thing. The NFL recently projected 2026 salary cap at $305 million. That's a $20 million increase. I don't have that kind of money. The New England Patriots, who have cleared up, listen to this. The New England Patriots, who have cleared up over $100 million in space, and the Las Vegas Raiders are expected to reset the market for Tier 1 talent. Oh, that's right, the same New England Patriots who just went to the Super Bowl and feel like they have a franchise quarterback in Drake May. I saw yesterday, according to Las Vegas, the Buffalo Bills have the best odds to win the AFC next year, followed by the Baltimore Ravens. I believe New England fell in line at third. How? They got $100 million to spend. They can go grab some top-end free agents. And they have Drake May at quarterback. They just went to the Super Bowl, Mike Vrabel as their head coach. Teams like the Patriots have this. You're going to watch for sticker shock on contracts for non-stars. Teams will scramble to reach the spending floor. The New England Patriots are built, as will be proven in this offseason, to win and continue winning, to have a dynasty. You will also track in the next 15 days Malik Willis. Why do you need to know that name? Why? Well, everyone wants him. Every team that needs a quarterback wants Malik Willis. I don't get it. I don't understand. I am not everyone. I don't want Malik Willis. I'm not buying it. The sample size is so small. And the sample size we do have, by and large, is bad. The good sample size, the sample size of stuff that makes me happy about Malik Willis, that sample size is minuscule. But in a weak market, it's a weak market for quarterbacks right now. He's the wild card. It was that game against Baltimore, playing for the Green Bay Packers in Week 17 last year, filling in for Jordan Love, that made him a franchise starter in waiting all of a sudden. And you'll need to know, you'll follow, whether or not 42-year-old old man Aaron Rodgers comes back. He likely will retire, could retire, to the Pittsburgh Steelers with Mike McCarthy, or if Isaiah Likely, making Malik Willis, is an option there. Isaiah Likely goes across town, across division, to join him. Franchise tag lockdowns, by the way. The window to use that tag closes March 3rd. So this is the timeline. March 3rd is when you're following franchise tags. Into March 11th, when free agency opens and teams like New England can go spend and build, and Malik Willis can weigh his suitors. Several stars off the table. Falcons, tag Kyle Pitts. Cowboys, tag George Pickens. Open market. Open market is light on wide receivers. Elite pass catchers. There will be B-tier guys. There will be guys hanging around. But that franchise tag lockdown has kept guys like Kyle Pitts, who could be good, I guess. We're still waiting for it. You'll draft him in the third round of your fantasy draft. For guys like Kyle Pitts to stick around. Running backs. What do we do with this? Well, we had to figure out Kenneth Walker III. The running back market crash of, 2 or 3 years ago. Franchises are completely split in their philosophy. Do we draft a guy, use him for 2 years, and say goodbye? Do we pony up money for Kenneth Walker? Does he deserve the respect of a Saquon Barkley or a Derrick Henry? Does he deserve the respect to be a franchise guy that we go all in on? He won't be tagged. Seattle has said it. We won't tag him. And they just don't tag in general. In the last 15 years, they've tagged 2 guys. The Jets will tag Breece Hall. But we're going to find out this offseason with guys like Kenneth Walker if the National Football League values running backs again, or if Seattle says, hey, we're okay. We can bring in somebody. We know you just won Super Bowl MVP. We can bring in somebody else to be just as serviceable because that position in the NFL is so much worse optically than it was a couple of years ago. And then, if you really want to get crazy, for our affiliates in Baltimore, for Mike in Baltimore, Tyler Linderbaum, 26 years old, open market guy, number 1 free agent on the board. Raiders, Giants, he could become the highest paid center in NFL history. He could set the tone for guys like you and me that want to play center in the NFL. That's what you need to know. Tune in on Isaiah Likely. Watch as this spend-off happens, as the cap raises $20 million, increases $20 million. Behold, as Malik Willis becomes a valuable quarterback, a franchise quarterback option in this year's market, which to me just shows the lack of star power at the quarterback position that's about to move around the league, and there are 8 teams looking for a new starter. Franchise tags in the next few days, those will be done. Running backs, where do they go? What do they do? How are they involved in the NFL? Do they matter in the NFL? And then the Linderbaum. That's the name. Tyler Linderbaum. That's the payday. The 26-year-old, does he remain in Baltimore? Probably not. Say hello. Get ready to learn Las Vegas Raiders, buddy. And the Raiders want to compete next year, too. They want to be what New England was this year. With Kubiak at head coach, Mendoza at quarterback, they could be. I think they could be. When we return. NBA MVP. Jokic. Gilgeous-Alexander. Neither of them. They're actually nearing MVP ineligibility. So who do we give it to? If SGA is too hurt and Jokic is too hurt, if those guys didn't play enough over the course of the year, who is the NBA MVP? I have the answer. This is the Drake Toll Show.
How long will the Steelers wait for a decision from Aaron Rodgers? Or could Mike...
trouble all my day. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised, the place where he was born and raised. I've been in trouble, no pleasure here on earth I find. For in sleeping in his grave. Maybe your friends think I'm just a stranger. My face you never see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore. He'll meet you on God's golden shore.
Touch yourself. It's the Drake Toll Show. You know, it's what's so cool about 2026 is that you can work from home in this world. And someone told me yesterday, they're like, hey, so I'm confused. This is bad. They said, do Curtis and Addie like come to your house? Like, I know you do the show from home. How does that work? It's like, well, no. No. Addie's not just from Washington, D.C. She actually isn't from there. She just is living there, is existing there. And Curtis is existing in Santa Monica, California. I'm still looking for your ghost. They're not in my
fly
house.
us out every morning. What are you talking about?
Wouldn't be the craziest thing. I heard tell there used to be a radio host in Dallas who did mornings in Dallas, afternoons in Chicago. That's crazy. And it's just nice to be able to sit here and have my dog, you know, at my feet. And you can give him a little scratch on the head. He's just really excited to be here. Bear, named after Baylor.
Why would we be talking about Baylor?
What, Addie?
What's his middle name?
Bear C. Toll. Dog C. Toll. Are you just do you have like a printer on in the background of your? Well, what's? Can we address this to the nation?
Yes, we can. I'm probably gonna get.
It's like a fridge, just a really loud fridge.
A 3D
No.
printer right behind
It's
her.
literally, I think, just the microphone setup. I am nowhere near an AC unit. I'm in the corner of my living room. Nothing's
It
around
sounds
me.
like you're in a windstorm. Like there is a tangible fan.
The
blowing
computer
into
fan's
you.
not even on. See, that's the beauty of it. The computer fan is not even on.
Okay, now Curtis, turn Eddie down. See? Look at that. You're lying to me. What? What do you want?
Can't talk because your internet is so bad right now.
Oh my gosh, stop. My internet is not bad.
Curtis, back me up here. Was that terrible?
That wasn't great.
My internet is not bad. Do not even don't even play this game. Don't
On
even-
Sinatra's life.
What about that?
That's how you know I mean it. I'm not lying.
Isn't he
to you.
dead? You
Big
mean
Sin?
Nikita.
Big Sin's in the other room. I can bring her over.
Who's the NBA MVP? The real question is, who should it's Con Knipple or Cooper Flagg the Rookie of the Year? Which, when we first posed that question on this show, I thought it was kind of stupid. It was pretty clear to me a couple months ago, that Cooper Flagg was the Rookie of the Year. Now Con Knipple has made it much closer, and I have friends who passionately would tell you Con Knipple should win the award. MVP, we're in a really weird, tough place because the best player in the NBA this year might be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It could be Jokic. If Nikola Jokic or SGA are the best players in the NBA, surely they'll be at the top of the list for MVP, namely with Halliburton out for the duration of the year or Tatum out for the year. Guys who could have been at the top of basketball, who could have been in the conversation. Jokic and SGA will soon be out of the conversation. Reason being, there's this 2026 MVP race that becomes anticlimactic due to the league's 65-game eligibility rule. With that rule in effect, both of those guys are on thin ice. They're a couple games away from not being in the running for MVP. Yes, they might be the most valuable players in the NBA. Yes, they may be deserving of the award, but there's a rule that says, hey, if you miss a couple more games, you're off the table. Well, if not for those two, now what do we do? What if it's Victor Wembanyama? He's really good at basketball, averaging a double-double, league-leading blocks guy. He is the most impactful, I would say, two-way player on earth. And I don't think that's hyperbolic. I think that's legit. But he's 3 games away from also being disqualified. Luka Doncic, very good at basketball, leads the league in scoring, leads the league in points per game, has the Lakers narrative behind him. Never hurts to be in LA, never hurts to be playing very good basketball while playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. He can only miss 5 more games. He's also flirting with the eligibility limit. So now what do we do? If we know it's going to be really hard to give the award to Victor Wembanyama or Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, if those guys all become ineligible, what do we do? Will we ever, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around, it does not make a sound. There is no one there for it to sound for. Wow. The English language. Cade Cunningham. Does it fall to Cade Cunningham, who is good, and Detroit is on pace to win 68, 70 games, somewhere in there? Looked good again last night at home against Oklahoma City. That loss to San Antonio is very intriguing. What could that look like? Are the Detroit Pistons NBA Finals contenders? They're 43-14 right now. 68's a lot of wins. That's new. But now Cade Cunningham, top 5 candidate, safe in the games played cushion, might just win the MVP. Right now, he's third, plus 425 to win the award. He was plus 1,400 a week ago. Now he's risen because people are starting to realize, oh, SGA is the MVP. Jokic is the MVP. But those guys are a couple of games away due to this rule in the NBA, despite being the best player in the NBA, from just not being considered at all because the rule says you can't consider them. And while I don't mind the rule, I like the idea that the most valuable player of an 82-game league should play 65 games. They should not miss more than 17 games. 17 days off out of your 82 you're asked to work is a good amount of days off. Cunningham, by playing, having the best record in the NBA, by the way, 43-14, Cunningham, by playing this season, has given himself, as a top 5 player in the league, the MVP award. Why? Because he played. Because the other guys were hurt. Because Luka is close to it. Wembanyama is close to it. SGA is close to it. Jokic is close to it. That is the strategy pick. If you want to win money, this isn't a betting show. I don't give you a lot of betting tips. But if you want to win money, that plus 400 on Cade Cunningham, that's the strategic pick. That's the safe pick because this year it's going to be a last man standing award. Who has eligibility to win this award? Bone bruise for Jokic, abdominal strain for SGA. Those guys missing time. Cade Cunningham has missed just 6 games. He can miss 11 more. He can miss 11 games and has positioned himself to where if guys like Jokic and SGA miss 5 games, he can miss 11 games and still be the MVP. That's the way the rule is written. Does it sound stupid? It's a little stupid. If I tell you the rule, hey, you have to play to win MVP, you think, yes, sign me up. I like that. But then I give you this, and you sort of say, oh, I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that part, where the best player in the NBA is not Cade Cunningham, but he has to win the award because of the technicality. Luka, let's say he does stay on pace and does not miss, 5 more games. 33 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, 9 assists per game. Those look like MVP numbers. He has a legacy franchise, the Lakers, top tier. That's going to get you a few extra votes, that first place spot. You're a Laker. It's the big market bump. It's the big market spotlight for being in Los Angeles. But he's missed 12 games. It's a better cushion than Jokic. But you sprain your ankle one time for a team that wants to compete, understands this might be your last year with LeBron James. You'd like to, and you won't be able to. You can't. But you'd really like to squeeze a title or a deep run in the postseason with Doncic and James and Reeves, those guys being there for the final time. I don't foresee that trio. I can guarantee will not be together next year in Los Angeles. Those are MVP numbers. But one sprained ankle, hey, we want to rest him so we can compete in the postseason, and bang, he's gone. Victor Wembanyama. He's not a prospect. This guy's a force. He is the best defensive player in the NBA. And he's MVP-esque on offense. I think 8-point disparity between him and Luka Doncic in points per game. But hard to vote against. And the Spurs are insanely competitive. Could be the best team in the NBA when he's on the floor. Depends on who you match them up with. But you just saw them beat Detroit. And you've seen them multiple times this year beat Oklahoma City. That gives me confidence in the San Antonio Spurs. His value, most valuable player, I would argue is higher than anyone else's. But again, can Victor Wembanyama, who is 3 games away from dropping out of eligibility, stay healthy? The race for MVP in this league, Jokic, SGA, Cade Cunningham, Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama, is Cade's to lose because he's the only one on the list that's fully playing the games. And because of that, bang, Cade Cunningham could be the 4th best player in the NBA and win MVP. Them's the rules. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Addie Bates produces in Washington, D.C. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. every single day. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. When we come back, the idiot of the day. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Feel the rhythm of the music getting stronger. Don't you fight it till you try to do that conga beat.
or something. Here we go. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports. Sturgill Simpson to start your morning. College buddy of mine just texted me. Offensive. He said, I'll read the text on the air here. There's a guy on 105.3, The Fan in Dallas, at 5 a.m. that sounds a lot like you. Unless it is you. To which I responded, I've known this guy for 6 years, college roommates, best friend. To which I responded, is that sarcasm? He lives in Dallas. He said, okay, just got confirmation, it is you. I didn't think your show was like all over the country. I thought it was just like a region thing, like Georgia. No. It is all over the country. 300 plus affiliates, and that's growing every single day, who we love and admire. Welcome to the Drake Toll Show. If this is your first time, it's good to have you. And if this is your first time, it will be the consummation, the coronation of you being exposed to the idiot of the day. Of me
Idiot
Gross.
of the day.
Yep, there it is. No matter what, no matter how far you run or the lengths that you go to try to hide, this song will find you. Stab and tickle. Is it royalty free, Addie? Are we able to leave it in the show? Thank you for the thumbs up. Are you mute right now? What's happening here? What do you... Okay, you can... Fine. Thank you.
Idiots of the day are us.
Addie gets idiot of the day. You know, if you're trying to download a song, you just copy the YouTube link and then YouTube to MP3 downloader and then email it to Curtis.
I am not getting a virus on my computer for you.
Oh my gosh. It doesn't give you a virus. It doesn't give you a virus. First idiot of the day. This reporter, for asking one of the stupidest questions of all time. It's an all-timer in a press conference to Connor McDavid. You have to hear it. It's real. You have to hear it to believe it.
This is a hard question, but, you know, Stanley Cup's found Gretzky and Crosby and those guys and gold medals, and you've been in, put yourself in position, and it's not finding you. Did you think it would be this hard?
That's a nice question. Thank you.
I mean, what? Hey, big guy. Hey, Connor McDavid. Everybody else has won a gold medal or a Stanley Cup, except for you, idiot. How does that feel? How you feel about that, huh? Why can't you win one? Maybe there are ways to ask that question, too. Hey, you know, Gretzky got a cup, a gold medal. You know, do you feel like that's on the horizon for you? When does that happen for you? That's at least a better way to ask it. Not, hey, you suck at winning at the highest level. How does that feel? And good on Connor McDavid for saying, well, that's a nice question. Thanks. So our first idiot of the day is that reporter. I'm going to go idiot of the day on this reporter. So I haven't talked enough about this storyline. It's the U.S. Skier who decided to ski for China because she got $5 million or $6 million from them. And I told you, if you worked at Lowe's, like the U.S., we don't treat Olympians great. If your home country offered you $100,000 or the home country of your mother offered you $6 million, $6 million is life-changing. I would do a lot of things for $6 million. If tomorrow I got a call from Latvia, the home country of Tingus Pingus, and they said, we'll give you $6 million if you roller skate for us, you best bet I'm learning to roller skate and I'm headed to Latvia. And then America says, oh, wait, we'll give you $100,000 to roller skate. I'm like, nah, dog, I'm going to Latvia. I'm roller skating. That's what Eileen did. Here's the question and response she got to the U.S.-born Chinese Olympic skier after winning a medal in Milan.
Also, do you see these as 2 silvers gained or 2 golds lost?
I'm the most decorated female free skier in history. I think that's an answer in and of itself. How do I say this? Winning a medal at the Olympics is a life-changing experience for every athlete. Doing it 5 times is exponentially harder because every medal is equally hard for me, but everybody else's expectations rise, right? And so the 2 medals lost situation, to be quite frank with you, I think is kind of a ridiculous perspective to take. I'm showcasing my best skiing. I'm doing things that quite literally have never been done before, and so I think that is more than good enough. But thank you.
Eileen Gu, who I'm just idiot of the day to the reporter for asking the question. Who asks the question to a silver medalist? Did you win 2 silver medals or did you lose 2 golds? Do you feel like the biggest loser? The first runner-up? Who is the first loser? You feel like a loser? Yeah, you're a reporter in a press conference. And by the way, one of the great myths of all time is that... careful. I gotta be careful. You would be surprised at the ease that which a lot of outlets or reporters are given access to events. Addie, you've been around sports for a while. Do you ever walk into a press conference and wonder, why are they here? 2 or 3 different outlets that just got accepted to be there. Because some people would
participation
say,
trophies.
Yeah. Am I wrong in saying it's a little bit easier than maybe perceived to get into these press conferences?
Oh, yeah. It's just, I feel like at a certain point, like anybody can. It's really easy. Like, I get emails all the time from like, hey, if you want credentials to this, let me know. And I'm like, I don't think I'm qualified for that.
Well, you are. You're very talented and very good at what you do.
Oh, keep going.
No.
Oh.
So, my question is, also, did we fix it? Is your fan gone?
Does it sound better?
Yeah. Nope, not at all.
Okay.
So, I'll continue on the thought with this. To that reporter's never won a gold medal. They've never won at the Olympics. And what a bum question to ask somebody that just won 2 silvers. I don't care what country they ski for, what country they represent. What a bum question to ask somebody. And you could say, oh, well, obviously the reporter's successful if they're at the Olympics and they're a credentialed member of the media at the Olympics. Like, nah, a little less than you would think, actually. And you can hate Eileen Gu all you want. You didn't know that name 2 weeks ago, by the way. You didn't know Eileen Gu. You can hate her all you want for winning medals for China. And you know what? It does feel kind of cool as the American to be like, ha, you got silver, didn't get gold. But I've never competed at the Olympics. I don't have the right to ask her that question at a press conference. It's a stupid question. Dilute winning a medal at the Olympics. Because again, she said, oh, my home country won't pay me like this, but someone else will give me $6 million, $6 million to do what I love. That is life-changing, generational money. I'm fine with it. You would do the same thing. You work at Home Depot, you make $100,000, you get an offer to go work for Lowe's for $5 million. You're going to work for Lowe's. And you can argue, oh, it's different because it's your country. It's a matter of pride. Well, if your country doesn't have enough pride in you, to pay you what somebody else will, if you only get a fifth of that in your nation or can go somewhere else and change the life of your grandchild, I sit you down and I say, Barry, You can either have $1 million or $5 million. You're taking the $5 million. That much I know. So I'm not mad. I have plenty of other things to be mad about and things to occupy my time with. Idiot of the day, Zach Lowe, who says that Luka Doncic is unwatchable?
Jalen. So Peyton Pritchard sees this, throws the ball to Jalen Brown, Jalen scores. Stuff like that is just, it's got to be so annoying to play with him. Let alone just like some of the, obviously, we don't need to go into like the antics, but it's just like,
oh no,
I feel like,
let's go into the antics.
Let's go into them.
The whining is back at just peak / Nadir Dallas levels. It's every fucking play. Just play, man. Not everything is a foul. And it's almost like, are you playing to draw a foul or are you playing basketball? Like, which one are you doing? Are you playing one-on-one and like with the refs, or are you playing a game? It's every single possession now. It's completely out of control. It's back to Dallas levels. It's just unwatchable. And I hate it because he's a genius. He's a literal basketball genius who can get any shot and any pass he wants. And what you're talking about, what I've said is something has just not sat right with me this year, and that it just doesn't, the numbers are unbelievable and they'll always be unbelievable. It doesn't feel as unsolvable as Dallas Luka. It doesn't, it feels like some of the predatory passes where he's passing 2 steps ahead of the defense, and you can tell he's enjoying passing 2 steps ahead of the defense. Like, I am going to use.
Unwatchable, you say? That is one and the same Luka Doncic, who, if I'm reading this right, Addy, correct me if I'm wrong, 32.5 points per game, first in the National Basketball Association, 7.8 rebounds per game, which is 27th, and 8.6 assists per game, which is 3rd. That is the guy, Luka Doncic, that we are calling unwatchable, 26-year-old.
But could you
Luka
imagine
Doncic.
if he was skinny? The problem is he's fat, Drake.
Bad because fat.
Yeah.
Not
Nico
good at
Harrison
basketball.
said it.
Too fat. We got to get that guy out of here. None in Dallas. So the take that he is more insufferable now than he was in Dallas, and it's worse now than it was in Dallas, and that it's unwatchable. All right, again, I am of the mind I have more things to care about. I have more things in the world to worry about. There is war and famine and genocide. I don't need to be mad that I get to watch Luka Doncic drop 30 points every night, alongside 10 boards and 10 assists. I don't need to be mad I'm watching a guy in his 7th year in the NBA, who's still only 26 years old, dominate the NBA as arguably the best player of the NBA. I'm not going to say that guy is unwatchable. That's a little crazy to me. Sorry. But unwatchable? Not the Luka Doncic I've had my eyes on. But hey, look, cool. The number's great. They'll always be great. He complains too much. He whines too much. Whatever, man. I don't see it. Luka, keep doing your thing, bud. Stay fat. Final idiot of the day. St. John's basketball. The Johnnies made 2 field goals the entire second half last night. You sat on your couch. You were asleep when this game was being played. There's a chance because you're up this early. And St. John's, while you were asleep, made just 2 more field goals than you in their entire second half. Their NIL roster, their NIL for their roster is a ton of money. They're paying an astronomical amount for 2 more field goals than you yourself could have offered from your couch last night. They scored 14 points in total in the second half in a 72-40 defeat at the hands of UConn in Stores. And they never really had a chance in this game. That's the same St. John's who's been red hot. They are 15-2 in the Big East. Entered the game last night a 1-loss Big East team that struggled in the non-conference, but was back. Their non-conference losses were Alabama, excusable. Iowa State, excusable. Auburn, doesn't look great. Kentucky, excusable. And now their conference losses include Providence, question mark, a home game against Providence, and UConn, but 72-40. Bad taste in my mouth going to March Madness, and they might lose to Villanova on their home court come this weekend. 72-40. Idiot of the day, Rick Pitino. Sturdy guy, built like a table. Every good table has a tablecloth. Google Rick Pitino tablecloth for more.
Google me.
Those are our idiots of the day. From bad reporters and bad questions to people who just did things to help their grandkids, to Zach Lowe saying Luka's unwatchable. Silly, silly. When we return, did you know? I'm being told by my producer, Addie Bates, in my ear for the first time. Just fact-checking this really quickly. Give me 1 second. And nope, yep, it's correct. The Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl this year. I don't think so. Let me do a little research in the break, and then because I've quad boxed all the major networks on my TV right now, and I have done that for the last 2 weeks, and I haven't heard a single thing about the Seattle Seahawks. So I'm going to go look and see if they actually won the Super Bowl. In the meantime, I'll try to build a case of why this is the most boring, forgettable, and sadly overlooked Super Bowl winner of all time. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
There's some.
Our naked bodies go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now how do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall? I guess time just makes fools of us all. The greatest minds of my generation, glad they conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. He lost for charity. But that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to throw. Notice that of all the young gods I have known. Yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a himbo and all. I guess time does make fools of us all. I killed a rattlesnake this morning. Clubs I'll never get in. It's like the bottom of the ninth, and I'm never gonna win this. Life hasn't turned out quite the way I want it to be. Tell me what you want. I want a brand new house on an episode of Cribs, and a bathroom I can play baseball in, and a king-size tub big enough for 10 plus me. So what you
It's
need?
the Drake Toll Show.
I'll need a credit card that's got no limit, and a big black chain with a bedroom in it. Gonna join the Mile High Club at 37,000 feet.
That jet sound is what Addie's microphone sounds like on the radio. Just
37,000 miles high. What can I say?
37,000 miles high.
That's what he said.
Nice.
No, it is not. What it said.
What did he say? 37,000 feet. Can I? Did you know something? I was VIP at Nickelback when I was in first grade.
37,000 miles.
Okay, you know what? Some of us have. We mess up, just like Victor Wembanyama juice.
In the sky.
Impressive.
I think is close enough to the sun that you could die.
Nah, I wouldn't.
I mean,
I'm just
you're
built
in
different.
you're in space, which is void of oxygen, so you would certainly die.
Nah, I feel like I'd own that. I feel like I
You
would
just killed
rule.
Nickelback. Boom. You just killed Nickelback. The Drake Toll Show.
There's
Westwood
space
One
right
Sports, That is space. That reminds me of space. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I hear this, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson. We will have highlights on Monday, by the way, of Jackie Bradley Jr. and Banana Bowl this weekend. Incredibly excited for that, actually. I do know where that came from, actually. That ethereal sound came from a highlight of a Banana Ball game that we played on Monday. And no one knows, still to this day, why the sound is there or what it has to do with the audio clip or how that happened.
Twice.
I'm
Yeah,
sure you
twice.
just recorded your sports minutes again into like some audio you wanted to play on it.
That was also that was a funny little snafu that first week of our show. We had to get through the messy to get to the great. But on Monday, we'll have tonight the Loco Beach Coconuts take on the Firefighters, which is fun on both teams' YouTube channels. And then the Party Animals and the Indianapolis Clowns tomorrow. The Savannah Bananas play the Texas Tailgaters Saturday on ESPN, actually, at the football stadium at Florida State. And I know what you're saying. Well, Savannah Bananas, I don't even care about that. It's fake. It is really cool. And when guys like Jackie Bradley Jr. are so bought in, Shane Victorino, Ryan Howard, who are coaches in the league, when they're so bought in, it's fun. I don't need you to love it. I'm not asking you to be, a diehard fan, but it's just fun and a pretty high level of sport too. The dudes are doing backflips to catch the ball. That's crazy. Former top-level minor leaguers and former pro guys, MLB guys that are in the fold. Pretty cool. Monday we'll have more on that, and tomorrow as well as that gears up and former MLB guys try their hand at what is banana ball. In the meantime, how do we talk about banana ball in this show before we even talked about the Super Bowl winning Seattle Seahawks? Well, that's been an issue across the country. Everyone forgot the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. If a tree falls in the woods and no one's around, does it really make a sound? If the Seattle Seahawks win Super Bowl 60, but no one talks about it, and it goes away within 48 hours, did they really win Super Bowl 60? Mike McDonald, the head coach of the team, joined ESPN a couple days ago. Here's what he had to say about his team's Super Bowl run in 2026.
I think take me and the coaches out of it. Well, what our players did, this team, at Michigan, we would number the teams. Teams 142.
Oh, yes. I know about 144.
Yeah,
you were on 142, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay,
and so, the 2025, 2026 Seattle Seahawks, I think deserve to be recognized as one of the all-time great teams, great performances. I mean, find me a stat and compare it to everybody else. Not that, but that's important, in the history books, and our guys deserve that recognition, I think.
Hey, here's the deal. If you want to consider yourself, and I think he's right, by the way, one of the greatest teams of all time to ever do it in the National Football League, why is no one talking about this? You're in Snoqualmie, Washington right now, listening to the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. You just went and got some crispy, crunchy chicken next to that big tree stump that sits in the middle of town. You're listening to the show and you're thinking the same thing. How do I turn on all the national networks and no one wants to talk about the Seattle Seahawks, about how they won the Super Bowl, and about how they could build a dynasty, about how they're built to have a dynasty? Well, here's why they're forgotten. There are reasons that this is true. And you could be a Seattle Seahawks fan who lives in Santa Monica, California, listening on our affiliates there. Good morning, early for you. And you're thinking, well, I've heard plenty about it. I think plenty of people are talking about it. Enough people are talking about it. If that's you, that's fine. If you think this has gotten the proper press, that's fine. But in a game where the Seattle Seahawks beat the pulp out of New England, 29-13, they became an afterthought because of the predictability problem. There's something called the performative bully. When you enter as a heavy favorite for something, when everyone expects you to win, when people believe you are dominant at one certain thing, that expectation begins to creep into the psyche of the world, and they say, oh, this is what's going to happen. And the game played out as it was predicted to. No lead changes, no Philly special, no trick play, no late game drama. Seattle led 12-0 at half. Field goals, boring. By the time the game was over, there was no real tension. The Super Bowl never materialized. There wasn't a memory. There wasn't a moment. Can you name me a moment at the Super Bowl where you thought, wow, I'll never forget that. I'm so glad I watched that live. I can't wait to tell my grandkids that I saw this in Super Bowl 60. So, no, yeah. Hey. I'll be happy. Hell, we woke up the next day and the first topic was the damn halftime show. Had nothing to do with the Seahawks. The game kind of sucked. So we all were like, all right, I don't know. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl. But past that, did you guys see Bad Bunny and Kid Rock? That was the biggest topic for the next 3 days. You open Facebook. Hell, people can't even name Mike McDonald. They don't know he's the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Kenneth Walker III, who might not be in Seattle next year, was the Super Bowl MVP. Sam Darnold was the winning quarterback. None of this was memorable to the country. This felt like I can tangibly tell you where I was for Game 7, Dodgers and Blue Jays. That Dodgers home run in the 9th inning is one of the all-time moments in baseball. I believe that. I can tell you where I was for Dodgers-Yankees when Los Angeles put a hammer down on New York. And you know what? I'm in the rare category as a die-hard, homegrown Texas Rangers fan. I can tell you where I was when Josh Spores threw the final pitch to win the World Series 4-1 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. But you know what? The rest of the country, they didn't care. All-time bad viewership. If a tree falls in the woods and no one's around, does it make a sound? No. If the Texas Rangers win the World Series but no one watched and no one cares, did they really get the glory of winning the World Series? No. You can't tell me where you were. You didn't cry that day. I did. It's the point of being a fan of the team. But you know what I thought after that, in the aftermath of that? Namely, after the Dodgers won the World Series? Why does no one care? You look around the room and say, we just did it. We won the world. We did the one thing we couldn't do. My favorite team. Come on, somebody, talk about it. Come on. Turn the TV on. And the first topic is, well, the Browns have fired their head coach again. Great. Awesome. Did the Rangers ever win the World Series? There's a predictability problem that the heavy favorite won. Seattle won. And in a fashion that was not sexy. The Rangers won, and it wasn't sexy. When defense dominates, there's a fatigue in that. Jason Myers made history, the worst kind of history you want to see in the Super Bowl, with 5 made field goals. It was a snooze fest because the defense was good on both sides. Drake May was sacked 7 times. Again, meaning this game was never truly competitive. 3 turnovers. The dark side defense was a tactical masterpiece. They suffocated New England. But that's not a viral highlight reel. And there was no villain energy. There was no, remember the Legion of Boom had Richard Sherman. He'd be like, man, that guy runs his mouth. Oh, man. I'm not sure if the guy with the Skittles, who's just here so he doesn't get fined, I'm not sure if I can root for that guy. He's got this heel, this villain energy. There was something about that Seattle team that was flashy. Beastquake. But Sam Darnold's a nice guy. He's not polarizing. Tom Brady's polarizing. Patrick Mahomes is polarizing. People hate those guys. People hate Brittany Mahomes. People hate Mahomes' brother, Patrick Jr., or whatever his name is. This wasn't the evil empire of the Patriots or the Chiefs. It wasn't even the Legion of Boom. It was Mike Vrabel and Drake May versus Sam Darnold and Mike McDonald. Halftime. Halftime stole the show. While the halftime show, how do I want to, culturally significant. It was culturally significant. It was criticized by those who did not like it. And also, if you didn't like it, cool. I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to berate you. I'm not going to tell you you're missing out on something. Now, if you chose to not like it before you watched it, that's where the problem comes in. But if you genuinely sat down for 10 minutes, saw it, and said the cinematography sucked, I hated it, I couldn't understand it, go away. Fine. I'm not here to berate you. I don't really care. Like what you like, don't like what you don't like. That's awesome. But that halftime show, mixed with, that you may have felt was disconnected or too specific, mixed with AI, endless AI ads. Like the commercials weren't even good this year. Made it to where by the third quarter, I just didn't really want to watch anymore. Oh, and then right after, we went to the Olympics. That was it. Super Bowl's over. It's Olympics time. NBC. Love it. Let's go to Milan. Let's see what Alyssa Liu can do. Let's see what the U.S. men's hockey team, women's hockey team can do. And there they go. Gone forever. Dead today. Obituary. The 2026. The Super Bowl 60 champion, Seattle Seahawks. Because no one really cared. I think that sucks because I'm a big DVOA guy. I'm a big analytics guy. And when I look at what Seattle built this year, holy expletive. They were so good defensively. And Sam Darnold is such an incredibly cool story. The former Jet, Sam Darnold. His 2026 cap hit, by the way, is just $38 million. That's 12.5% of the team's total cap. Other elite quarterbacks take up 20%, 25%. Seattle has value. Oh, by the way, Byron Murphy, Witherspoon, Smith and Jigba, all still hanging around. Rookie scale contracts. That's the same Seattle that's going to play next year, compete next year. And McDonald has a contract through 2030. He brought physical developmental culture, plug-and-play environment, where mid-round picks, Drake Thomas, go out there and play. Oh, and by the way, most Super Bowl, if you win the Super Bowl, you will typically find yourself in like a cap hell. You're like, okay, we did it. We paid for it. We did it. We won. But now we have all these stars and high-paid players. What do? We just fail and fall to the abyss. Hello, 2015 Panthers. Didn't even win the Super Bowl. Seattle, though, no, $72 million in cap space, the sixth most in the NFL. They can re-sign Kenneth Walker. They can bring him back, the Super Bowl MVP. Oh, and they're the only team in the league with a Super Bowl winning veteran in his prime, Sam Darnold, and a rookie like Jalen Milroe that's still hanging out, waiting in the wings. It looks a lot like where New England sat in 2001. Boring defensive team. Tom Brady's a system quarterback. Kind of fluky that they won the Super Bowl. Congratulations. But it won't last with Bill Belichick and the fluky Tom Brady. But then it did. It lasted for 20 years. 2 decades of dominating the National Football League. That's kind of the same recipe that Seattle has built. And you just didn't know it. You just wouldn't know it because no one wanted to talk about it. Because no one thought that it mattered. We all said, wow, bobsled, curling, turn it up. Hold on, I want to hear this. Seattle, Super Bowl, that's yesterday. It was boring. And that sucks. I hate that for Seattle. You'll be talking about it this time next year when they've gone back-to-back. You'll be talking about it this time 8 years from now when they've won 3 or 4 in the span of 8 years. No, they won't. Ain't no dynasty. I just told you why. They're rich. They've got space. They've got young talent. And they've got defense. When we return on the Drake Toll Show. You know, the response from the United States women's hockey team has been perfect. And if you think, I hate the president because of this, I hate the men's team because of this, or if you think this is overblown, or if you think, I hate the women's team, they're anti-American. I think everybody, and Hillary Knight would agree, should just kind of calm down. Here's why. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Well, she was born in the morning, late October, San Antonio. Now she's every girl I've ever known. Well, she was born in the morning, late October, San Antonio. Now she's every girl I've ever known. And she don't talk about religion. She talks about the Stones. every friend I've ever had. Who never failed to cut a trail whenever times were bad. Oh, she's every friend I've ever had. She's a flighty good time buddy in a corner of the bar, but she'd fight the devil for you just for being who you are. And she's the last to cast a stone, although she'd love to leave you mad. Oh, she's every friend I've ever had. Well, she was born in the morning, late October, San Antonio.
I got a sweet little baddie and she's rolling in the caddy with me.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Hey, here's what's crazy is we as a society, we pick and choose what the stories are. We pick and choose what the storylines are. And one of the big ones this week has been the controversy or perceived controversy around the U.S. women's national team, the hockey team, winning gold, and then the president makes a joke in the locker room about the ladies. And in the wake of that weird timing, they decide they're not going to the State of the Union. And the reason they didn't go to the State of the Union, the women's hockey team, is because they have to go back to college. They're in college. Or they're in the PWHL. They're trying to build a professional league up. So, hey, love the invite, appreciate it. This is not a political statement. We just can't be there. And then America kind of freaked out. Like, oh, because of woke, they won't go to the White House, huh? State of the Union, huh? Like, dog, also, here's another thing from my perspective. I had this conversation with some buddies last night. We have these talks. You know, you have these talks with your friends. If the president, no matter who it is, if the president is Andrew Jackson, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, H.W. Bush, Warren G. Harding, or Abraham Lincoln, do you go to the White House when they invite you? And it's a tough question for some people, depending on their jobs, their roles, how they be perceived. And for others, it's, hey, the honor, I think for most people, it's the honor of being at the White House, the honor of being invited by the president, just to tell my kids I met the president. But yeah, I would do that. Plenty of people have that perspective. But to turn this thing into the women's team is so woke, whatever that word means, they hate America. I don't think so. Hey, and also another big piece of this, if a couple of them had decided, and a few of the men kind of had to, they weren't going to the White House, they weren't going to meet the president because it was political to them, because they disagree with the guy, because they don't like whatever the decisions that are coming down from the Oval Office are. Guess what? That's what the word freedom is. They have the freedom to say no. They have the freedom to not go to the White House. It means something different to them than what it does to you and me and everybody else. It means something different to everybody. You have the freedom to have an opinion of that, too. I'm not going to strip you of your right to have an opinion on whether or not they go to the White House. For every decision you make, there are consequences, and sometimes those consequences are found in in public court, in the court of the public, and the court of public perception. Sometimes that's where the consequences fall. And you know what? In this situation, I think it is all just overblown. If you're super, super mad at the men's hockey team because they laughed at a joke, I would recommend we find other ways to spend more fruitful ways to spend our time. And that's not my opinion, actually. It's the opinion of Hillary Knight. She said, when asked about the men's hockey team, like, come on, everybody, we're rallying together. We all hate the men's hockey team, right? They're sexist. They don't like the women. We all agree we hate the men's hockey team. We're disappointed. We're mad. We're angry. We want to be mad. Well, if anybody has an opinion on this that should be listened to, that should be valued, it's probably Hillary Knight. Here's what she had to say about her counterparts on the men's side.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a genuine level of support there and respect, and I think that's being overshadowed by sort of a quick lapse. And I think the guys were in a tough spot, so it's a shame that sort of this storyline and narrative is kind of blown up and overshadowing kind of that connection and genuine interest in one another and cheering one another on. We've had phenomenal relationships in the village and supporting one another on the world stage and also the professional stages. And I look forward to those friendships and, acquaintances sort of continuing in great fashion. And I think this is just a really good learning point to really focus on, how we talk about women, not only in sport, but in industry. Women aren't less than, and our achievements shouldn't be overshadowed by anything else other than how great they are.
Yeah. So if you're really mad at the men's team, Hillary says, hey, lapse, but don't let this eat you up. Then what about the other side of the aisle? You don't hate the men's team. In fact, you agree with the men's team. You think that it was just a joke. Everybody should calm down. This is all silly. This is stupid. You think the men's team did the right thing, that they're in the right here. The women's team, they're the ones who are blowing this out of the water. They're the ones who are being unreasonable. If you're upset with the U.S. women's national hockey team, if you don't think that in this tiff they're in the right, then I implore you to hang on to the words of Hillary Knight. Here's what she had to say about the distasteful joke from the president, because they're not actually pitchforks and denying and protesting and, oh, we hate America. No, that's not what this is. Here's what Hillary Knight had to say about the joke itself.
No, I just thought the joke was distasteful and unfortunate. And I think, just the way women are represented, it's a great teaching point to really shine light on how women should be championed for their amazing feats. And now I have to sort of and anybody has to sit in front of you and explain someone else's behavior. It's not my responsibility. But what is shifting the focus and shifting the narrative of this amazing accomplishment that we all did together. And granted, the men's and the women's team did it together, and that is super special. It's never been done in our program's history. It's something we're extremely proud about. But these women are amazing, and whatever is going on shouldn't never outshine or minimize their work and our success on the world stage. This was the best American women's hockey team, the best American team we've ever put together on a world stage when the lights have been the brightest ever. And so I think everybody felt that, going through the tournament. And I want to celebrate. I want people to be remembered for that. I want the legacy of this team to be remembered. And so that's what I'm trying to shift the narrative on and really focus on championing what we've done and what we've accomplished the last 2.5 weeks together.
She just told you I love America. She just told you I love playing for America. And the joke was distasteful, which I think we could all agree on. And if your sister won a gold medal, you wouldn't want someone making a joke about her gold medal. Hey, what? Distasteful? Sure. But if you think, oh, I hate the women's hockey team now, they're unpatriotic. No. If you just listen to them and not the AI Facebook posts, the tabloids, you'd hear they love America. They love playing here. And they're not mad enough to overshadow a gold medal. No, they just want to make this a learning moment, a teaching moment. And that is maturity. The Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Time for Are You Smarter Than Drake Toll? Curtis versus me. Addie, let's go.
All righty, boys, you ready?
No.
All right, what's the first category, Curtis?
Music.
Ooh. Okay, you ready for this one? I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to read some lyrics to you, and you have to tell me the name of the song, okay?
Okay.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick, and your brain stops ticking. Watching X-Files with no lights on, where Don LeMay's on. I hope the smoking man's in this one.
Kurt, what you got?
Fight Club, right?
Is it a song by the band?
No, it's by Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken.
Yep, they got really famous for that. Okay, next
1
category.
week. Okay.
History.
All right, here you go. What was the name of the international group formed to maintain world peace after World War I?
Isn't it NATO?
I was going to say NATO.
League of Nations.
Isn't that like a wrestling stable?
What's the next category, guys?
Movies.
Movies.
Who directed the 2017 movie Get Out?
Well, Jordan Peele.
Oh!
Peele.
Oh! All right, so there's a tie so far. Next category?
Science.
Science!
Atoms of the same chemical element, but with different atomic masses, are known as what?
Silly.
What? What did you just say?
Atoms of the same chemical element, but with different atomic masses, are known as what?
Yeah, no idea.
Elements.
Oh my god, read a book, guys. Isotopes.
Random.
Where did the Friends hang out in the show Friends?
I've never watched a second of Friends, so I'm going to say Fight Club.
It's a coffee shop. What is it called?
Something Bean.
Good lord, y'all are terrible at this. Central Perk.
Oh. Last one.
That was the last one. You ended in a tie.
If we keep in the bulk right now, we ass.
Yeah, that was atrocious, guys. Like, I really need y'all to think about that the rest of the day, okay? Please.
I hate it here.
We'll not think about it.
That was embarrassing for the Drake Toll Show. I bet Black and Abdallah would know those ones.
You stop. You shut up about Black and Abdallah. You want to produce that show? You go produce that show.
All right, Raj, I'm joining you.
That's enough. I mean, me and Curtis from here on out. And Pudge the monkey or whatever the kid's name is. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. See you from 6 to 9 a.m. tomorrow. Love you. The Drake Toll Show!
This is Westwood One Sports.